What is going on, TU crew? Happy New Year. We are officially back from our break. We've got a great episode for you guys today. We hope that you enjoyed your New Year's, obviously. But as always, let me just start this off with the two greatest co-hosts in all of sports podcasting. I mean, come on, you kidding me? I've got Jake Maltese with me and Luke Rosenthal, of course. How are you guys doing?
I'm going to defer this to Luke. I'm doing good, but I don't think anybody on planet Earth is doing as good as Luke is right now.
I mean, I'm the champ. What can I say? Back on top again. It just feels great. It feels great to be here in the new year. 2022 is going to be the year of totally unqualified. It's going to be a totally unqualified year, totally unqualified summer, totally unqualified winter. We're all year long, all 365, 24/7. You already know. I'm ready to get into this episode. To start off the new year right, let's go. Pack on top as well.
I do have an existential question to ask all of you guys.
Yeah.
If we do this long enough, will there be a point where we are actually qualified?
I mean, for the sake of the title, we have to say no.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I would say.
I mean, yes, eventually we would become qualified, I suppose.
I think we couldn't. We can't.
I don't think we can possibly ever become qualified.
Yeah.
Just it's in our blood. Like, we're always going to make absolutely atrocious takes, which we are going to get into later in the episode.
Absolutely.
This episode is exactly why our name is totally unqualified. We'll be discussing
100%. 100%.
All right. So a couple things real quick. We are in the new year. So a couple things have changed here. Guess that player has officially reset. Jake did end up winning. I have no idea what the score was. Going to be totally
it was a lot.
Guys.
It was
again.
A lot.
We are
Thank
totally
you.
Unqualified.
Thank
so
you.
I have
I appreciate
no idea.
that. Thank you so much.
And we were making game picks and stuff. We haven't done it for a couple weeks now because we just felt that it wasn't that great of content for you guys. But where we ended up, I did end up winning that. I had the best record of all of us. Now, that is not a knock on Luke whatsoever because he came in second in both of those things. So he's obviously the most well-rounded of the three of us.
I'm the best loser.
We don't need to mention where I was. We could just skip past where I was.
But with that being said, guess that player officially 0-0-0. And I've got the first one ready for you guys. Are you ready for this?
Honorable mentions to Adam Rank and Trent for getting on the leaderboard. Yes.
True.
Yes. They're going to have to come on again. They're going to have to come on again to get back on the leaderboard.
Oh yeah. Going to have to. All right. So we're going to do this the way that we've done it a few times where you guys are asking me questions. I will go ahead and say it is an NFL player and they are not currently playing.
What?
Yes.
Like they're injured or they're retired?
Retired.
Yeah. No longer
Not Antonio Brown, though. Not Antonio Brown.
No,
like
it
that
is not
retired.
Antonio.
Okay.
No. I'll start things off. Did they retire in the last 5 years?
The last 5 years. That is actually a good question. I want to. No.
All right.
Oh.
From that answer, I'm gonna try and guess. I'm just gonna throw
like a 2012, 2013 range. I'm feeling.
That's what I'm thinking right now because he had to think about it for a second.
His last season was 2015.
Peyton.
No.
Oh, damn.
I'm gonna go Steve Smith just because we've been talking about him recently.
Nope.
Ask
some more questions, boys.
Keith Miller.
Nope.
Oh,
are they in the Hall of Fame?
Come on.
No.
Damn.
Will they be in the Hall of Fame?
It is up for debate. I feel like.
What would you say? What would you say?
It's. I would say no.
No.
Damn.
What?
Okay.
Gage is pissed. Gage is coming in with a vengeance in this new year.
I know. Captain Munnerlyn.
No.
That's a throwback name though.
Skill position player?
It is a skill position.
Is it Jamal Charles?
It is not.
No, he played past that. Yeah. Okay. So skill position 2015. Who was retiring in 2015? Are they predominantly known for a team on the AFC side or NFC side?
AFC.
Okay.
AFC. Could be
Antonio Gates.
Nope.
Oh,
Andre Johnson.
Nope.
no, he was 16. That's a good one
AFC North.
No.
Reggie Wayne.
No.
That
Oh,
was a good one. Are they a
shit.
receiver? Are they a receiver?
They are a receiver.
All right, wide receiver, right? Not
Not
including
Reggie.
tight end.
Yes,
Okay.
wide
Not a
receiver.
it's
Okay.
not Reggie Wayne. Damn, I would've had that one. I guess Reggie Wayne is a Hall of Famer, so yeah, that kind of negates it.
Dwayne Bowe.
No.
That's a good one. That's a
Shit.
good one. What a forgotten name that is.
Wow.
Ooh,
Right?
it's a really good one.
AFC, is it AFC West? Let's get the team.
Yeah, let's get the division here.
Not AFC West. Not the team that they're predominantly known for, or that they predominantly played for.
AFC South.
No.
Okay, so
AFC
AFC East.
Yes.
Brandon Marshall.
Nope.
Oh, that was a good one too. Good one. But I guess he's more known for the Broncos though.
Even
Actually
the
probably
Bears.
the Bears. Probably the
yeah.
Bears. Yeah.
Wow, this is a tough one.
Oh man, Gage, you're stumping.
All right, let's
me,
get
man.
the team. Is it
Yeah.
Dolphins?
Nope.
Jets.
Nope.
All right.
It's Patriots.
It is Patriots.
What?
And it's a receiver.
It's a receiver.
It's not Edelman.
Nope.
Is it Wes Welker?
It is Wes Welker.
Oh, good
we go.
one.
Yeah.
There we go.
Good one.
I didn't think you guys would be that
shit.
stumped with that one, but you
That
know
was-
what? I'll take it.
Oh,
For the
That was
man.
tough. See,
That was tough.
at the time I grew up and like I really started getting into football, Wes Welker played for the Broncos. So I
Yeah.
didn't really I sort
No,
of
but-
associate him more with Denver.
I would agree. And actually, but I think you're right, Gage, that his prime was really with the Patriots.
Yeah.
And you
So,
know,
makes
something
sense.
funny about that is that he played with the Brady Patriots, obviously, and
And
he
the
also
Manning.
played with the Manning Broncos and did not win a Super Bowl.
That is
crazy.
unreal.
Yeah.
Crazy. I mean,
I
injuries
had
plagued his entire
Yeah.
career.
I will say, because you brought up the Hall of Fame thing, I feel like he's got a decent case. I mean, I don't know if I would put him in or not, but he's a 5-time Pro Bowler, 2-time All-Pro, and he did lead the league in receptions 3 times. So
I mean, I feel like he's probably the best slot receiver ever. So, and he's in that discussion at least 100% in that
yeah,
discussion.
solid return man too.
Yeah,
A lot of people
Definitely.
forget that.
I mean,
definitely.
Aaron Rodgers last night on the Manning cast said that how he qualifies Hall of Famers, or maybe he said on PMS. Maybe I'm forgetting, but he said he qualifies Hall of Famers as a person that's been top 3 at their position for like an extended period of time, so like 3-4 years maybe. So I don't know if he would get in under those.
Yeah,
under
that's
those-
kind of
So-
that was my thought. Like, he's up there. Like, he played well during his time, but I just don't know that he would make it.
yeah.
So would Frank Gore make it under those circumstances?
See, that's tough.
No,
That's
I'm
tough.
not going to change my mind.
I don't think he
Um,
would. I don't think he
Somebody
would.
else that might be in question as far as whether or not they make the Hall of Fame, less off of stats and more off of conduct, is big in the news right now, and Antonio Brown. So I figured it would only be right that we discuss that first things first. For those listening at home, if you somehow don't know, if you live under a rock somewhere, Antonio Brown just left in the middle of the Buccaneers Jets game. They were down 25-10 at the time, or 24-10, something along those lines. And he just took off his jersey, took off his shirt, his gloves, threw it in the stands, and just dipped.
Peace out.
So how do we feel about this situation as a whole, boys? Luke, I'll start with you.
Fun fact, I literally just found out right before the podcast that my cousin was in that exact end zone of which he like was waving goodbye. So
Oh,
good. That's cool. I had no idea. It's a tough situation because we obviously don't know what's going on behind the scenes, and we're trying to like piece the puzzle together. I think it's very clear and obvious to say that something just isn't quite right with Antonio Brown. Now, what the reason for that is, that's up for interpretation. Well, it's really not, honestly, because it is like a sore subject that you don't really want to speculate on, but we have to go off what we saw on the field. And what we saw on the field is somebody that quit on his team, who got fed up. And maybe if you want to believe in the rumors that he told Bruce Arians that he was too injured to go in, yada, yada, yada. but he quit on his team. And you don't do that in the middle of a game. You don't throw a temper tantrum. You don't throw your stuff into the field. And you don't leave. Like, that's literally something that we've never, ever seen before. You go back to 2018 with Vontae Davis and think about how he retired at halftime. Well, at least Antonio Brown gave it a little bit more time and went to the second half. But like, you never thought you'd see something like crazier than that. And this absolutely topped it. From the football side of things, it hurts the Bucs tremendously. The fact that they've lost Chris Godwin for the rest of the year, the fact that Mike Evans is hurt, Leonard Fournette is hurt, Ronald Jones is dealing with an injury now. Even Rob Gronkowski too is on and off. Like, they needed him. And it's just terrible timing. It's terrible timing, but you know what? Like, honestly, it was to be expected. Maybe not this exact scenario, but some sort of blow up, some sort of altercation, some sort of incident is to be expected when you have Antonio Brown on your team. I mean, the only reason that he was on the team was because Tom Brady vouched for him. Bruce Arians was very vocal before they signed him that they didn't think that they needed him. And he went out and helped win them a Super Bowl last year. So it's a tough situation. I wish Antonio Brown the best. Like, I hope he gets the help that he needs, but that was totally unprofessional, totally unqualified, if you will. And I don't think we'll ever see him in the NFL again. And I don't know if this is a hot take or not. I don't think he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. I know he's one of the best receivers of all time, probably top 10. You could argue that. I think his off the field issues, if what they did was hold out TO for a couple of years, I think everything that Antonio Brown has done throughout his career has totally exceeded whatever Terrell Owens has done in his career. And I don't think he should get into the Hall of Fame. I think he should get expunged, like no consideration, nothing, because I don't know. You can't put that sort of person with that sort of conduct in the Hall.
Yeah, that's going to be a really controversial topic from now on, because you got the football people who are going to be like, oh, it should only be based on your play on the field. And then you got the people that's like, well, Hall of Fame is such an honor that you should really encapsulate everything about that person. Like, they're supposed to be a Hall of Fame worthy person. And that's what I kind of believe. I kind of believe like you need to earn it in every sense of the word. Like, you need to be Hall of Fame off the field just as much as you are on the field. And T.O. was blown out of proportion how bad he was off the field.
Exactly.
Like
he
nowhere
always
close to as bad as AB has been.
Not even close. Like, yeah, he had the whole workout in his driveway. He didn't always get along with Donovan McNabb, but like, other than that, like, T.O. was really not that bad. He just had, the media like to cover him. That's all, Yeah. Antonio Brown this is terrible. This is terrible. Like, Luke pretty much touched on everything. Completely unheard of for a man to just rip off his jersey mid a game and hype up the crowd in the end zone. What was that about? What the fuck was that about? Like, he was embracing the hate. Like, okay.
Like, he was, he looked happy to be doing, like, completely happy.
Yeah. Like, not a teammate I would ever want to be around. And just listen, this is never going to come out of my mouth again, but props to Tom Brady for still, like, even though Antonio Brown did all this, for having a good heart and just going on his press conference being like, listen, he needs our love right now. Like, and he could always come talk to me. So props to Tom Brady for that. It was very classy, but Antonio Brown should not be within 100 miles of Canton. Yes. Is Antonio Brown, the football player, a Hall of Famer? No question. Absolutely. First ballot. He has completely negated what the Hall of Fame, he does not deserve the Hall of Fame. He does not deserve the Hall of Fame at this point. Honestly, we probably could have lived with his antics if he just went about the rest of his career from here. Maybe had, a few other minor slip ups, like probably would have been able to look over. The fake vax card was hard. That was hard to look over. And now he's going to come out and do this shit after that. Just unreal. I honestly did not know what was going on. Like, Sped sent the message in the Discord, like, Antonio Brown has removed his jersey and walked off the field. And I was like, because I wasn't able to watch this game. And I was like, what does this mean? What does this mean? And then I immediately went to Instagram and I saw the video and I was like, holy shit, this man is absolutely insane. Like, he has issues. I have no doubt in my mind he has CTE and he needs help. He needs help. Okay. So I hope he gets that help, which honestly, it doesn't seem like he's very receptive to it right now. I don't think he sees that there's an issue.
Yeah.
And my big interest would be to like interview Mike Tomlin and be like, hey, did you like before the perfect hit, what was Antonio Brown like? Like, just what was he like in general? Like, yes, he might have been a little bit of a diva, but like, did you see this coming? And then like, I want to see his perception after the perfect hit, because I think we can all point to that and be like, that was a major turning point in his career.
Yeah. In regards to his NFL career, I definitely think that was a turning point. Like you see a different side of Antonio Brown post that, but even before that, I think he had issues like with conduct in college and stuff too. Yeah. So I don't know. I like, you can make the case for CTE, and we just won't know until after he passes away, which obviously I don't hope is anytime soon. I wish the guy well.
Of course not.
But I feel like it's something other than that as well. I'm not one to try and diagnose somebody because I have no idea, but something along the lines of being bipolar or something like that, I feel like makes a lot more sense in my eyes.
Yeah.
But I don't know. The guy is not going to get help unless he sees that he has an issue, which it doesn't seem that he does. As far as the whole Hall of Fame argument, yes, Antonio Brown, the player, 100% deserves to get into the Hall of Fame. And I think that eventually he will. But like you guys said, if they held T.O. out for several years based on the things that he did, I think there's a good chance that Antonio Brown doesn't get out or get into the Hall of Fame for a while. I could see it being way down the line. Like, this guy is old now or whatever the case may be, and they put him in then. But I think he's completely tarnished his legacy as a whole.
I think a lot of people are to blame too for enabling Antonio Brown to continue doing all of his antics. Like after his Facebook Live in Steelers, and after he wanted to get his trade away from Pittsburgh and he forced his way out of there, and then the cryo chamber with his feet and getting frostbite, and then everything that he said about the Raiders ownership, the helmet, and then I think there's no possible way you should have been allowed in the NFL after submitting the fake vax card. Like there's just no shot. There's no shot. Yeah. And honestly, if we weren't living in a COVID world right now, he would not have been on the team. But because of other circumstances, because of Chris Godwin going out, because they have a lack of depth at wide receiver, all of a sudden they needed a guy like him.
They did him a favor. They allowed him to come back when they easily could have gotten rid of him for that. And this is what he pulls just a couple weeks later.
Yeah.
Incredibly selfish, incredibly selfish as a person. It's just, it's unreal.
And then he drops a song that same day after the fact.
It was like the whole thing was a big advertisement.
Seriously.
And then, honestly, he's in the car with the Uber afterward. Also, that video comes out and he's talking about, oh, this is going to do such and such for my Netflix series. The fuck is wrong with you, dude?
It's a Netflix series?
Apparently. That's what he said in the car. So I don't know what's in the works, but anyway, I have a couple. Obviously, I don't think any of us think that he should be on an NFL team now. I don't think any team right now is desperate enough to be like, we got to go pick up this guy because we are just that desperate. But I have a couple scenarios for you guys that I want to run by you, and you tell me whether or not you would sign Antonio Brown in this situation. Okay.
Oh, geez.
The 0-16 Lions, they're best receiver, and this is like you like knowing everything, like knowing the things that Antonio Brown has done, knowing that like if you don't do something, you're gonna go 0-16, the whole nine. The 0-16 Lions, their best receiver, obviously Calvin Johnson, 78 catches, 1,300 yards, 12 touchdowns. Their second best receiver after that, Sean McDonald, 35 catches, 332 yards, 1 touchdown.
Who the hell is Sean McDonald?
Yeah, no. There's no shot. Honestly, you could name a bunch of scenarios, and I'm gonna say no to every single one.
No, every time.
Yeah, there's somebody like I don't care what it comes to. Like I honestly don't care what it comes to. It's just not worth it. It's not worth it. I would say there's not a single team he would be wide receiver 1 on at this point. Listen, he's still talented, but I just like I don't think he's as talented as he was. And I just think like for a wide receiver 2, even if he was a wide receiver 1, I'm not dealing with his antics ever again.
He just completely destroys your locker room. He causes more issues than he does good things for you.
Exactly.
The other 2 scenarios I did have, the 0-16 Browns, obviously Ricardo Lewis, Seth DeVal, David Njoku had 32 catches for them for 386 yards and 4 touchdowns. And like that receiving core
Was Jarvis not on there yet?
No, I don't believe so.
No.
This was 2017.
17.
So no.
Okay.
And then
the Corey Coleman too. Corey Coleman was on that.
He was
remember him
as well. And then the last one I had was the 2014 Chiefs that none of their receivers the entire season had a touchdown.
But that was different though. I feel like they had decent receivers. That was what Dwayne Bowe was still on the team, right?
Yeah, it's funny that you brought him up earlier because I have him on this list. Obviously, he led that receiving core with 60 catches, 754 yards, and then obviously had no touchdowns. Second to him was Donnie Avery. Well, he was their wide receiver too. Donnie Avery had 15 catches and 176 yards.
Okay, so but crazy. That was like the year that Jamal Charles went off,
carried that entire team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
It's like
anytime you get in the red zone, just give it to Jamal. Yeah.
How many passing touchdowns did Alex Smith have that year?
That I don't know. Let's find out. I have PFR already pulled up.
If it's any more than 15, I'll be damned.
This was pre-Jeremy Macklin, right? This was pre-Jeremy Macklin on that team.
Yes. They did.
That's another person I forgot about.
Yeah.
Travis Kelce was on the team.
Yeah, he probably got a couple. He was in his second year, I believe.
Jeez, take your time, laptop. I'm not in a hurry. I'm not in the middle of something here. That year, he had 18 passing touchdowns.
18.
Wow. How many rushing?
Fucking who?
How many rushing?
To who?
How many rushing?
Yeah, because he can run a little bit.
For Alex Smith.
Who was he passing it to? Jamal Charles, probably?
Probably.
Yeah,
honestly.
I think Jamal Charles had receiving touchdowns as well.
I think Jamal Charles was like the best running back in the NFL that year.
Jeez.
Alex Smith had 1 rushing touchdown that year. So he had 19 total touchdowns.
That surprises me.
So yeah.
What was the record of that team?
They went. He only started 15 games and went 8-7.
So they had 9-7.
But, I mean,
they went 9-7. So
yeah,
they were a winning team.
That was the year they played Andrew Luck in the playoffs, and Andrew Luck had that crazy fumble touchdown.
Now, Jamal Charles in 2014 had 1,033 rushing yards, 9 rushing touchdowns, 291 receiving yards, and 5 receiving touchdowns.
Damn.
That's wild.
Forgotten legend.
The team on his back.
Update: Raptors win by 25 over the Spurs. That's going into the new year right. And they beat the Knicks the other day.
Yeah, we get it. Knicks are terrible. All right, bring it on. Julius Randle, I'll officially say it. He's missing again. He's missing again, people. He's missing again.
Bringing in the new year and bringing the meme back. Where is Julius Randle?
100%.
Help us find him.
Oh my God.
Bring me. The only person that can help us find him is fucking Obi Toppin, but Obi Toppin's not getting minutes. So
yeah, he's in the doghouse for some reason.
Tibbs hates. I don't know.
Tibbs hates him.
He does. He hates young players. I wouldn't say he hates them, but he's very much of the mindset like you need to earn your minutes on the floor. Yeah. Like I want you young players to just sit back and watch as like the veterans play. That's what Tibbs loves. So it's not that he hates them. He wants them to learn. It's like it's the Brett Favre and Rodgers thing. But it's like at some point, Obi Toppin is dropping like 10 points anytime he gets over 15 minutes. Like he's dropping double digits. Put him the fuck in. Put him in the starting lineup. I don't give a shit. Just do something. Quentin Grimes has been nice. He's been a nice surprise. But
so what Jake is saying is that don't pick any young Knicks players in any of your overtime pools.
Zero
have because they're just not going to get it done for you.
You
don't have to worry about that in our overtime pools because they are all football related. They're going to continue into playoffs and everything. Mm-hmm. So they start up every Friday. Watch out for them in the afternoon. We've got some great prizes coming up. You definitely want to be a part of those. The Overtime app is fantastic. Even if you're not playing in the pools, just to keep up with news and everything going on in sports, it's fantastic. We highly recommend it. Obviously, if you've been here before, you've heard about it. So definitely be sure to download that. You can do it at the link in our bios on any of our TikToks or anything like that. Or even if you just download the app just regularly, just through the App Store, we're fine with that too. We highly recommend this app. Now, we are going to get into some things that are going to prove why we're totally unqualified, as Luke said earlier. And we're going to go through all of our division predictions from way back before the season started. We had OG on for an episode, and he went through it with us. Then we did the AFC for the episode after that. So this has been a while ago now. We're gonna kick it off, and we're gonna start with the NFC East. And I'm gonna go ahead and go through just this atrocity that I came up with. In first, I had the New York Giants.
Yeah.
Yes, Gage.
Because I put all of my faith into Joe Judge, and he has been horrible for them.
Terrible.
He might be the worst component of that team right now. Nobody has trust in him. Like, there's former players that are calling him a clown and this and that. It's been ridiculous. If there's any saving it, in second place, I have the Cowboys. In third, I have Washington. And then we all disrespected the Eagles.
We did.
Every one of us
100%.
had the Eagles in last place. And here they are with a playoff spot.
Should we keep track of which places we got right for each team? Like, keep a tally on the side.
We
come up
can,
at the end
if you want to do it that way.
All right, because I think I just got. Yeah.
What I wanna know is, who have the Eagles beaten though? Name one significant team that's like impressive that they've beaten.
Yeah,
that's true.
They got to have a very like low strength of schedule, like probably one of the easiest schedules in the league.
They're very all over the place too. Like, there'll be some teams that you don't really think they should, and then they'll lose to teams that it's like this team had no business beating them.
I genuinely think their best win is against the Broncos. Like, that's it.
I think so. I can't think of a week where I just like looked at the Eagles games like, wow, they beat them. Like I can't think of a week where I've seen that.
I think their biggest win was the Lions, but that's obviously not impressive. But they just happened to beat the brakes off of them.
Yeah,
I mean,
the
Falcons,
the Seahawks offense did this week, so that just tells you how impressive that was.
Yeah, so I think that we definitely owe the Eagles an apology. The Giants let me down. I don't know why I ever put my faith in them. The Cowboys, you know, Luke, you were the only one that had them as high as you did. You had them in first place. Jake, you had them in third. I had them in second. So we kind of had them all over the place. None of us were super low on them.
Yeah.
But they've obviously come out and played a whole lot better than we were expecting, especially on the defensive side of the ball, which I think is why I had them as low as I did. Between Trayvon Diggs and Micah Parsons, I mean, that defense has been stout.
Yeah, I wasn't falling for the Eagles this year. You know who was, though? All those fans at the fucking Washington Stadium trying to see Jalen Hurts. God. Are you kidding me?
Falling out of the stands, the railing.
Did you see Jalen Hurts? He tweeted out today that he wanted an answer of what they're gonna do about it, like what they're gonna do about their facilities. Which, if it takes an opponent's player to make your situation of a stadium better and improve, like, that's crazy. That's crazy. Washington, going into this new team build that they have, this new whole like rebranding, they better fucking make some improvements to that stadium, because oh my God, every time I see something on social media about the Washington football team, it's always about their stadium, and it's always either players are falling out of the stands or shit is falling literally from the ceiling onto fans. It's crazy.
Week 1, I think it was, they had a pipe that was burst and it was just pouring water into the stands. The Cowboys had to bring in their own heated benches because the ones that Washington provides don't work all of the time.
Yeah.
I don't know. It feels constantly like when they have these kinds of things come up that they try to like cover it up a little bit with something else they have going on, whether it be the Sean Taylor thing earlier in the season that they had planned ahead of time, or now they announced that they're changing their name on a certain day just after this happens.
February 2nd.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on. We've got the NFC West up next, and this one was probably the hardest to predict. I think we were all in agreement. When I was listening back to that episode earlier, none of us knew what to do with this division. Luke and I both did have the Rams in first. We also both had the 49ers in second, which did not work out. Jake, you had the 49ers in first, actually.
Yeah, that let me down.
Yeah, big on Jimmy G. You thought he could lead them back to the promised land, which I don't really blame you. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. It was and all of us, I think, owe an apology to the Cardinals yet again,
100%.
Because I had them third and you two had them last, and they've totally outperformed that. So
I just didn't believe in Cliff Kingsbury, to be honest.
That was the big thing.
And he's kind of shut my mouth up, but except like past couple of weeks, they've been sliding, but they beat the Cowboys. So as a Packers fan, I'm thankful for that.
I don't think I realized how good their defense was.
Yeah.
And then also, I thought they were going to have virtually no run game because I did not believe in Chase Edmonds and James Conner. I was like, that is a put together piece of trash that made of 2 running backs that nobody wants. Like they're going to get, maybe 300 yards each this year.
Yeah.
I was dead wrong about that. They did a great job with the run game. And Cliff Kingsbury, hats off to you. I did not think you could coach in the NFL, but man, did you prove us wrong.
A lot of people were ready to fire him going into the offseason, and here they are. I mean, they're second in this division only by I think it's 1 game. And I mean, they're about to be.
They have a chance to steal it, so
they do.
Yeah, absolutely. And then in the NFC North, all 3 of us got that exactly correct.
Yeah, it's so easy.
I don't think it was that difficult. I mean, we kind of, as long as Aaron Rodgers was there, we knew that the Packers were going to do their thing. I thought that the Vikings were going to be better than they have been this season, honestly. But obviously it didn't take much for them to still come in second after the Bears and Lions just did what they did this season. But I think that both the Bears and the Lions have bright futures if they make the right decisions. This could be a very competitive division going forward.
I could say that about the Lions. I don't know. Something about the Bears and Ryan Pace still being there. And just like I don't know. I see a lot of talent in Justin Fields, but literally the Bears have not been able to show that they could be a competent football team for more than 1 year. So I don't know about how I'm feeling about that, but I do want to end that with fuck Mike Zimmer. I can't wait to not see him with the Vikings anymore. What a terrible. And the thing is, like I was thinking about it earlier, it's not that he's just like not that great of a coach. He's just a terrible like human being. And like everything that I see about him.
What?
So, sorry, I'm coming straight after his character. Like every time you see him in the media, talk to the media, he did it this week with Kellen Mond saying, oh, we see enough about him in practice. 4 years ago, I don't know if you guys saw this on Twitter. I think I retweeted it, but he was asked about why the Vikings cut Daniel Carlson. Daniel Carlson missed like 2 kicks in a game. And he was just such a scumbag about it. He was just like, yeah, did you see the game? Yeah. Okay. That's why we cut him. Like is very straight up and up front, but that's not the type of guy you need leading your team. Like I wouldn't trust him as a player. I wouldn't want to play for that sort of guy. And he's just an asshole. I
hate people that are like, oh, I'm a very straightforward person, or I'm very, blunt. It's like, oh, so you're a fucking asshole.
That's it. Yeah.
Hearing,
that's
because like,
saying it.
And that's Mike Zimmer.
I'll be real. I'm on Tinder. I'll be swiping through Tinder. And as soon as I see a girl that's like, I'm straightforward or I'm blunt or whatever, I'm like, I am not fucking with you. So I'm swiping left
for the
on
best.
Mike Zimmer.
That's for the best.
There's what I'm saying. But yeah, I definitely think he's got to go. I think that he could still be a defensive coordinator somewhere potentially.
Absolutely.
But as far as being a head coach at this point, I don't know.
Just not in a leadership position. I give you that. I give you that.
Yeah. Next, we have got the NFC South. And this one, I feel like was kind of sort of expected the way that it went. We each had the Panthers and Saints kind of flip-flopped all over the place. And the Saints ended up coming out in second, the Panthers in third. The Panthers were not as good as we were expecting them to be. I'm looking at you, Jake.
Damn it, Sam Darnold. Fuck.
And the Falcons were a little bit better than we were expecting them to be. And we thought they were going to have Calvin Ridley, and we still thought they were going to come in last in the division. Yeah. So if they had him this season, it could have been a different story for them, really. But we all had the Buccaneers on top. I mean, I feel like there's not a lot of big stories coming out of this division right now. You know what I mean? Everything that happened was pretty much expected. The Buccaneers are on top. The Panthers situation is the Panthers situation. They still have to improve. The Falcons, what do they do from here? We don't know. And then the Saints have just been injured to shit.
Yeah. I got to give credit to Arthur Smith though, and the phenomenal job he's done with the Falcons this year. Cause I looked at that roster before the year and I was like, I don't know how they get a win. I don't know how, cause none of us saw Cordero Patterson coming. Right. So we thought, okay, Matt Ryan is not what he used to be at quarterback. Mike Davis is starting at running back. Their best receiver is Calvin Ridley. He's great, but like, what do they have after that? Their tight end, Kyle Pitts, rookie tight ends aren't all that. And their defense is atrocious. Like, how do you get a win with that roster? And they got a chance to go, like with this last game, they have a chance to go 8-9, like damn near 500. That's impressive as hell. So kudos to you, Arthur Smith. You've done a great job with this Falcons team, and you deserve all that credit.
I think AJ Terrell took a huge leap forward this year. He's a big reason for their success. I think I can never pronounce his name. Foyesade Oluokun. He took a big step. He's leading the league in tackles right now.
That was a good attempt right there.
I think it's Foyesade Oluokun.
Foyesade Oluokun. All right.
Yeah, I believe that's how you pronounce it.
Yeah. So
Comic-Con.
Almost Comic-Con. Yeah. Comic-Con. And also like Arthur Smith sort of changed the way that NFL offenses are run now, because you see what they're doing with Cordero Patterson. And, NFL is such a copycat league. Now you're seeing it with Deebo Samuel. Now you're even seeing it with Amon-Ra St. Brown, who had a carry for a touchdown against the Seahawks. So he's making his impact on the league at a very early into his tenure with Atlanta.
Yeah. It's hard to see a direction that they go from here just because of where they're at as far as talent. Like there's guys on offense, obviously. Matt Ryan is good enough, but that O-line's still bad. The rest of the defense outside of AJ Terrell is not good. So room for improvement, sure, but can they get it done? We'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, absolutely.
Moving on to the AFC now. All of us got the AFC East completely correct as well. It could switch up though this last week.
It's true.
If the Bills lose, the Patriots win, the Patriots could take that top spot, but we all had the Bills, Patriots, Dolphins, and Jets from top to bottom. And the Dolphins gave us a little scare though. We've talked about it a few times. They go 1-7 and then they win 7 straight to come back and potentially
against nobodies. That's an important part.
Also very true, but they did it. The only
they did it. Absolutely.
Tua played decent. He played well enough to get them those wins. But I mean, that's another one that it's like, where do you go from here? Is Tua the guy? Do you stick with him?
I think so. I think he's the guy. I think you got to get a run game. You got to get a consistent running game, especially with a guy like him. Like, don't make it all on him. Jalen Waddle completely exceeded my expectations for him this year. I wish they would get fucking Mike Gesicki more involved in the offense. Like, I swear to God, he couldn't be like, he is the most athletic player on that team, no doubt. He's probably one of the most athletic players in the entire NFL, and they barely look his way at all. Like, if you're only going to throw it to Jalen Waddle, that's no recipe for wins. Like, I'm sorry.
Damn right. Justice for my Nittany Lion. Let's go.
I wanted him in the draft that year for us.
You didn't want Adam Troutman? You didn't want Adam Troutman, Gage?
I don't. We might get into that a little bit later. Because oh man.
You had a great
he would be fantastic. I think Mike Gesicki's about to be a free agent, right? I think
I hope so.
Yeah,
I hope so.
He'll probably resign. They'll probably keep him in Miami, I would imagine.
Maybe. Yeah. I feel like he's that kind of guy, loyal, stick around. And they didn't have like a horrible season. So I mean, the Jets are the Jets, but I do want to say Zach Wilson has been playing better. I think that he's genuinely improved throughout the season.
I think the Jets built a foundation this year, and that's what they've needed for years now. Yeah. They've just never really had that one season to build off of. And now that I think, they're going into next year with 2 top 10 picks. They already have Zach Wilson. They're trying to get their cornerstones of their team for the future. Holy shit, their defense sucks. It's so bad.
I do think it's genuinely personnel based though, because I do have hope for Robert Saleh. I think that he is a guy for them. I think that he is very smart and defensive minded. And I think that if he can get the right pieces, he can actually execute what he wants to do. But they just have to improve in so many areas. So I think it's still a few years out for them, but I think that they're in a decent spot as is.
Can we just appreciate now that we're like 3 years out, how actually good of a coach Todd Bowles was? Like, he actually brought the Jets to relevancy.
Yeah.
Like, they had that year with Ryan Fitzpatrick where they like almost made the playoffs. I think they went 10-6.
They should have made the playoffs.
And Brandon Marshall like had this complete career revitalization. Eric Decker. And then people were like, he's not the guy, though. He's not the guy. Jets fans, I feel like when they are good, they don't know what to do with themselves. It's like when they finally are good, it's like, wait, why aren't we in the Super Bowl, though? Like, what? Okay, yeah, we have a winning record. Enough. Yeah, but we're not good enough now. It's like, calm down. All right. Have a few like 1 win over 500 seasons that then start getting to that time. Like you were just 1 win, 2 win. You're bouncing between seasons. But no, I completely agree. The Jets, like this year, you're starting to see the culture just feels different. You see some pieces like in Michael Carter, Zach Wilson looks good. Elijah Vera Tucker has been great for that team. CJ Mosley, like you see pieces that are like, okay, I can see the future of this team. Whereas before you're like, okay, who the fuck is this guy Quincy Enunwa that's putting up good stats? Can they even build off of him? Like, oh, who the hell is Elijah McGuire? Like, where the fuck did he come from? It's just like they had the Chris Herndon. Who the fuck is that? Like
Braxton Berrios.
Braxton Berrios is another one that's like just look. Speak of Wes Welker, he looks like Wes Welker this week.
Yeah.
But yeah, they just finally look like they have the pieces to build off of. And fuck all those people that were like, all right, move on from Zach Wilson. He's a bust. Like 8 games into the season. Like people need to calm the fuck down. Like not every quarterback that gets drafted highly is going to be Justin Herbert, is going to be Andrew Luck, is going to be Russell Wilson. Like even though Russell Wilson wasn't drafted highly, but like they're not all just going to immediately off the bat perform this well. Like RJ Barrett, people were calling RJ Barrett a bust when we drafted him just because he wasn't performing in his first year. Now he's putting up like 18 points a game. Like just calm down. Let these guys fucking develop in the NFL. I just have no patience for impatient fans. I have none. Like calm down.
For whichever of these quarterbacks that are about to be coming out in this class get thrown into the fire first.
Oh yeah.
Because fans are going to shit all over them because none of these guys are the caliber of quarterback that we've seen, especially the last few years.
Yeah.
So as soon as they get put out there, it's probably going to be rough, but
yeah,
just have to see.
2 quick things. One, Matt LaFleur's brother, going for it on 4th and 2, going for a quarterback sneak and allowing Tom Brady to get the ball back and go for the game-winning drive instead of kicking the field goal to go up 7. That was terrible. That's why you're not a head coach. Sorry. Love the LaFleur family, but that was terrible. That pissed me off. Second, I feel like other than Trevor Lawrence, every quarterback that came out of the first round has shown why their team has drafted them. Like Zach Wilson, especially, he's had moments of greatness where he's the perfect improviser. Like he could run around the pocket, make everybody miss and throw a 50-yard bomb down the field, or maybe even fake going out of bounds and then score a 55-yard rushing touchdown. Like these guys are showing why they got drafted to the teams that they did, except for Trevor Lawrence, which is so weird. Obviously, he had to deal with Urban Meyer, but like it is weird.
Yeah,
I am still of the mindset that we're going to see Trevor Lawrence figure it out.
I agree.
I think going into next season with a new head coach, new staff, whatever, I think we're going to see a much different player out of Trevor Lawrence in year 2.
I totally agree. Like a fish rots from the head down, and that Jacksonville, that's been a fish that's been rotting for about 12 years now. Like Jacksonville is so bad. Trevor Lawrence is too talented and he's got too good of a head on his shoulders to not succeed in the NFL. Like he's hardworking. He never has a problem off the field and he's too fucking naturally talented. There's no situation where he doesn't succeed in the right circumstances.
Yes. I think that, and I've been thinking this for a while, even if his entire tenure with the Jacksonville Jaguars does not work out, I genuinely think another team would take a chance on him. And in the right situation, I still think that he would be able to figure it out.
That's fair.
I really believe that.
Yeah.
But we're going to go ahead and move on to the next division now. We've got the AFC West, who we all put the Chiefs at the top, which seemed like a no-brainer. And then we didn't know what the hell was going on for the first, 6 weeks of the season or something like that. And then they figure it out and they make us look good. So thank you, Chiefs. We appreciate that. Patrick Mahomes, making us look good. But then after that, all over the place. I mean, but it could be expected. We all had the Raiders in last. They ended up going in third. The Broncos are currently in last because they haven't been able to figure it out on offense.
Yeah.
The Chargers are in second, but Luke, you and I both had them in third.
Yeah.
So a little bit of a weird division. I still think that this is probably I think that this division, as far as where they're at competitively, could compete for like the best division in football along with the NFC West.
Yes. Yes, I would agree. I was going to say that, to put a little context behind this, like having the Raiders in last, we all said the Raiders are still going to be a very good team. Like they're going to be competitive. Like when we put them in last, we were all assuming I will not very good. Okay.
I will admit that I didn't. I said that they only got worse, and I thought they were going to be worse. And Derek Carr pulled them up. Or he pulled the whole team up from his bootstraps. And
that's another thing. No, Derek, the completely unwarranted Derek Carr hate that was coming from Raiders fans ends this season. Like if you don't see Derek Carr as your quarterback at this point, I don't know how you have brain cells. Like I'm serious. Like Derek Carr is the only thing going for you right now. The only person that could possibly win you games is Derek Carr. And this man, I don't care. He's a top 10 quarterback in the league. He is. And you would be lucky to have Derek Carr as your franchise quarterback. So Raiders fans, be a little more grateful.
I think he's going to pass, I believe, is it Rich Gannon's record for, is he about to be the all-time passer for them? Passing leader?
I genuinely don't know. I haven't heard anything about it.
I didn't know that Rich Gannon
sounds
that
right.
record. Yeah.
I want to say that he's about to break a record this week. By the way, did you see that?
Tell me it's not Jamarcus Russell.
Yeah. Shit. Damn. No, it's Marcus Mariota. Did you guys see the the scenario where if the Jaguars beat the Colts and the Raiders and Chargers tied, they both make the playoffs?
Yeah, and the Colts are 0-6 against the Jaguars in Jacksonville the past however many years.
So weird.
It is odd.
That's going to come to an end. That's going to come to an end this year.
Yeah, I definitely see JT going off.
I remember they lost week 1 last year, and that was literally the only game that the Jaguars won the entire year.
Yeah, they won that game, and everybody was like, "Oh, like wait, the Jaguars might be something." Like Gardner Minshew is the guy, and
Gardner Minshew had a good game that game too. He was. We were all like, "Oh shit, this guy is legit."
I think a lot of people say that he's like Ryan Fitzpatrick-esque, and like I kind of see it to an extent, but I feel like he's a little bit better than that.
He is better.
I feel like he doesn't get enough credit because
he's probably the best backup in the league right
now.
Yeah, I would say so. I would agree with that.
I can't disagree. Off the top of my head, at least.
I mean, who's in that discussion? Andy Dalton, I guess, is in that discussion.
Andy Dalton,
Jordan Love,
Nick Foles.
Colt McCoy is a very underrated backup that I don't think gets enough respect.
Daniel Jones.
Put in there.
Tyler Huntley. Tyler Huntley. We're stupid. Tyler
Huntley's been playing very well. I think that Tyler Huntley could be a starter next year.
He could.
That's fair.
You might. Is this seeming very Tyrod Taylor-esque? Because like Tyrod Taylor was the backup on that Joe Flacco-led Super Bowl team. He came in, he impressed a little bit.
He
went to Buffalo, won the
Yeah, you didn't know that?
Tyrod Taylor has a Super Bowl ring.
That's where he started his career.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
And then he becomes the starter for the Bills after that.
Mm-hmm.
And you know he didn't have a terrible tenure with the Bills. You know what I mean?
No,
like he had some pretty.
He brought them to the playoffs. He ended their playoff drought.
Yeah. So if that's what Tyler Huntley is headed toward, that's not a horrible position to put yourself in.
Not a bad one at all, especially starting your career off as like kind of like a no-name player. I know he was out of Utah, I believe. Mm-hmm. And like Utah fans are probably going to want to crucify me for saying that. I'm sorry, guys. Okay. You're like most people in the United States do not pay attention to what's going on in Utah. I know that's a shocker. I know it's a shocker to you guys. But yeah, Tyler Huntley for the most part was not really known besides by probably Pac-12 fans, but yes, Tyler Huntley kind of came in. He's done a great job. So to have that type of career that Tyrod Taylor's had, honestly, that's a good career to have in the NFL. Nothing wrong with that at all.
I would agree.
Yeah. This is the one, boys. This is the one.
Oh, geez.
You know what? Not just us, but like everybody in the sports world that I can think of had the Bengals in dead last in the AFC North.
Yeah.
Here they are, clinching the division. Look amazing. Joe Burrow has like 1,000 yards just in the past 2 games. Jamar Chase is offensive rookie of the year through and through. this team has been fantastic. It's funny, Jake, you and I had the same list, and from top down, it was Browns, Ravens, Steelers, Bengals. If we just flipped it upside down, we would have been totally right.
Oh shit.
So, and then Luke, you had the Ravens at the top, followed by the Browns, then the Steelers and Bengals. So,
Damn.
this
Fucking
division-
hell, Baker. God damn it, dude.
Tough.
Come on. You had one job. You had one fucking job. Nothing changed on that team. You just had to keep it consistent from last year. You couldn't even do that. Ah,
I just
Anything
wasn't.
else? Go ahead.
I just wasn't expecting Joe Burrow to like. It's sort of like coming of age moment. I didn't expect
be
it this
college
early.
Joe Burrow. Yeah.
Yeah, like I didn't expect it to be this early. Like last year, he's
Yeah.
coming off of a torn ACL last year.
Yeah.
And he just missed like half the season and then came back this year just 10 times better. I think top 10 quarterback in the league right now. The
would
last
agree.
2 weeks would definitely say that. And Jamar Chase, I'm willing to say he's a top 5 receiver right now. I got into a little bit, not an argument, but I got into a debate earlier with OJ No Sports about this. Like, I think right now he's top 5, and a lot of people will say small sample size. It's only this season, but like that's what we're judging people on. Like right now, he is top 5 right now. Like as we
What have you
speak.
done for me lately?
Yeah.
Name of the
And-
game.
And everybody was expecting Justin Jefferson to have this slump this year, and look what he's done. So I'm
Mhm.
totally willing to take Jamar Chase, what he's done, how well he's done it, and be like, this guy is legit. Like this guy is going to continue to do this.
By the way, I think we're finally starting to realize just how insane that 2019 LSU team was.
So
like
crazy.
this is gonna be the same, like, what is it, 2001 Miami Hurricanes? Like this is the same shit. Like we're gonna look back on this in 10 years and be like, how the fuck were all of those players on the same team?
Yep.
How? Joe Burrow, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Terrace Marshall, who's actually having a pretty decent year in Carolina if he actually had a quarterback.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire has been a little bit of a disappointment after his coming out party against the Texans for week 1
He's been
last
hurt,
year.
but
Yeah, he's been hurt. And I feel like the Chiefs don't really use him all that well. And then you got Patrick Queen, you got Caleb Chase on, like a bunch of other defenders that I'm forgetting because mostly the offense was the only notable part of that team.
Derek Stingley.
Derek Stingley. Oh, I think Grant Delpit was on that team, who's now with the Browns. Like so many insane players. Yeah, that team was insane, and they're making their mark in the NFL. I'm glad Jamar Chase is doing this, and I'm glad Bengals fans have acted like they didn't say that he was the worst pick they've ever made. I'm glad they're just forgetting that. Yeah,
And I think that they're not going anywhere for a while. You know what I mean?
No.
I mean,
Yeah, they're young. They're young.
Yeah. They're just going to get better. As far as the situation itself, I mean, they haven't really had like any injuries. They haven't dealt with COVID that much, so the situation could change. But as far as adding talent, they're in a prime position to do so. Getting back to the Browns real quick though, and Baker Mayfield, we've talked about many times. I have come to the conclusion that I genuinely think he is still going to be the quarterback next season.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it's completely based on the situation, not based on them wanting to keep him, because there isn't a guy that I think is really worth drafting. They can pick up the 5th-year option for him. You know what I mean? It's not like they have to give him a brand new contract. So I think that they keep him around for another year, let him get healthy, because he's not playing this coming week. He's going to go ahead and get his shoulder surgery, get that sorted out. So maybe if he can figure some things out in the offseason, maybe, hopefully, I wish the best for the guy. He can come back next year and show that he deserves to be the franchise guy for the Browns. But yeah, I just don't see them moving away from him after this season.
I will say, as much as I will hate to say this right now, if Aaron Rodgers does leave Green Bay, I think there's an outside chance he could end up in Cleveland. You look at their offensive line, it's probably top 3 in the league, no doubt. His old friend JC Tretter's on that line. And Alex Van Pelt is the offensive coordinator in Cleveland right now. That's Aaron Rodgers' best friend, his old quarterback coach. Maybe an outside chance. I think it's very slim. I think that would be probably his last pick out of like the big market teams like Denver, Pittsburgh. And I think he's staying in Green Bay personally, especially if they win the Super Bowl. But
yeah,
outside
I've
chance.
I've come to the point now where I think Aaron Rodgers does one of 2 things: stays in Green Bay or retires. I don't think there's another option at this point. I don't think he ends up on another team. I don't think he wants to go elsewhere. I don't think he wants to relocate. I think that he's either I'm staying here and we're going to work this situation out, or I'm just going to retire and call it quits.
I'm telling you, I'm waiting when Jim Nantz or somebody asks him that question as he raises the Lombardi trophy. So are you hanging it up? Are you staying next year? And I'm just waiting for his answer to be like, yeah, or we'll see. Like,
Yeah,
I'm just
like
waiting.
He would be much more of a, like, I guess you'll have to wait and see. Listen to the Pat McAfee show tomorrow at 12 p.m. to find out what my decision is.
Imagine it's like a LeBron thing, like oh shit, what was that called? The decision.
Yeah, the decision.
He was actually saying on Pat McAfee, today's Tuesday, right? Yeah, today, that he really liked how Barry Sanders went about retiring, how he just kind of gave, just like a note. Basically, he was like, "Hey, thanks for everything. You know, I enjoyed it." He felt like that was very classy. Like he wasn't above football, so to speak.
Yeah.
And he was talking about Big Ben's whole thing. And he was like, obviously, I respect that. Big Ben deserves it. You know, he has had a hell of a career, but I wouldn't want like a tour or something.
Farewell tour,
to end my career. So I think that, I mean, it could happen that way. Like him just be like, you know what? I'm done. I'm going to hang it up. See you guys later.
And he's the type of person to 100% do that too. Yeah. Like, no doubt in my mind.
Yeah. There was somebody in New Orleans that had a farewell tour that he's probably looking down on last year. I don't remember who it was.
A farewell tour? Please. His last game, there was 3 turnovers against the Tom Brady-led Bucks in a fucking half-full stadium.
In a playoff game, no less. That's tough.
Big Ben had a better farewell last night, and that's not even his last fucking game of the season. I don't want to hear it.
No, but
anyway.
I just want to touch on the Cleveland thing for Aaron Rodgers. I feel like that would actually be, I could legitimately see that, because I feel like he's somebody that cares about legacy. And like, he knows that if you go to Cleveland and you win a Super Bowl with Cleveland, like, holy shit, your name is etched in history forever. I don't care how good he was.
Bigger than LeBron?
Yes. Cleveland is a football town.
Yep.
It is a football city. They love the Cavs. They love the Guardians. Sorry. But it is a football city. If he leads the Browns to Super Bowl, that man, they might put him in the Hall of Fame that year. He might not even have to wait the 5 years.
They retire his jersey immediately.
Just right there.
Prior to this season, with the way that Baker Mayfield has been playing and everything, I saw people saying that if Baker Mayfield, and Bladen talked about this, I believe, obviously big Browns fan, that if Baker Mayfield won them a Super Bowl, 100% they would love Baker more than LeBron. Some people, I think, already loved Baker more than LeBron, and he hadn't even done anything really for the team yet.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, they're a football town. If Aaron Rodgers went and did that, LeBron who?
Yeah, for real. For real. And I think Aaron Rodgers knows. Aaron Rodgers is a very smart guy. I think he knows that. He knows that. I could definitely see that. I could see it being like a Tom Brady to Tampa Bay thing. Like Tom Brady knew Tampa Bay is not the biggest market, but holy shit, they are one piece away from going to the Super Bowl. And fuck, he was right. Like, holy shit, they were literally one Tom Brady away from winning a Super Bowl. Yeah, Cleveland, I could say with 100% certainty, they're one Aaron Rodgers away from winning a Super Bowl. I can pretty much guarantee that.
I mean, they would have to get him some receivers, but like,
yeah, but like, they're not far. Like, Jarvis Landry's still there.
Far,
Donovan Peoples-Jones is I think is actually a pretty underrated receiver. And
with as many receivers as there are in this draft and everything too, I mean, they could get a guy late
very
and be
deep.
Totally fine.
Very deep. Jahan Dotson.
There you go.
Yeah.
My guy.
Might be the best.
He might be on it. This is one of those years. Like, I know how like 2 years ago, we were like, this is the best receiver class we've ever seen. This is giving it fits. Like, this year is like, oh shit, 2 years later, this is putting up some competition. Like, there are 7 wide receivers where if you're like, that's my number one guy, nobody could argue you. They'd be like, all right, yeah, I understand. Like, I get it. Like, it's crazy. This year is going to be insane with the wide receivers.
I agree.
The receivers are going to be the main focal point because of the quarterbacks not being as good this year. The receivers are going to be like, I'm waiting for that guy to go off the board. We have one division left.
Oh my God, we're
still on this.
We are still on this. One division left, and I feel like we don't need to talk about it a whole lot. The AFC South, you guys both had the Titans, Colts, then the Jaguars, and the Texans. A lot of people before the year started thought that the Texans were going to be the worst team in all of football. They have obviously done fairly decent for themselves. Davis Mills has stepped up and been
decent,
a guy. And I was actually listening to one of the older episodes when I was looking up all this stuff. And Jake, you did say that Davis Mills could potentially be a guy.
Thank you.
So I will give you your credit for that.
I'm thanking you, and I'm thanking my past self because I did not remember saying that. Thank you,
Yeah.
past Jake, for
I
saying
think,
that.
I think you said it
Yeah.
then before the season started, and then after one of his early starts, you were like, Davis Mills looks pretty good, and
Yeah,
he's looked pretty solid.
he
A lot of
did.
people are
He
saying
like
that now. So
I saw some throws like this week, especially where I was like, holy shit, like that's franchise quarterback shit right there. Like that was good. Like he was putting some dimes like right over the shoulder defender, right on the back, right. Like I'm telling you what, Davis Mills, he's not Deshaun Watson, but Texans made a very good pick with him. They were one of the few teams. Yeah, this might be a Dak Prescott situation where like they were one of the few teams that saw what because not a lot of people were watching Stanford. Let's be real. Not like Stanford has not been good since Christian McCaffrey.
And even then they were
even then they were a little iffy with Kevin Hogan and Christian McCaffrey. But yeah, and JJ Arcega-Whiteside, as Eagles fans know. Yeah, Davis Mills, like I don't think Houston fans would be pissed if he was their starting quarterback going into next year. I don't think NFL fans would question it that much if Davis Mills was our QB1 going next season. He's honestly earned it. He's earned that right. And he had to earn every single inch of that. So good for Davis Mills. He's looked outstanding for what people expected of him, which was not a lot.
And it just furthers the narrative that any guy that sits behind Tyrod Taylor is destined to be a starter.
Yeah, exactly.
Which I am so sorry, Tyrod Taylor.
Oh my gosh.
So
oh my gosh.
My coach of the year is Matt LaFleur. I won't lie. I think what he's done with this team over the past 3 years, and he just doesn't get recognition for it. Any other year, Zach Taylor, I don't care about. Mike Vrabel is the coach of the year. What he's been able to do without Derrick Henry, who's literally the entire team, not even just the offense, the entire team is Derrick Henry. And to get the number one seed, they're about to lock up.
Yeah, wild.
I think it was Ant put in the Discord earlier some stats. 8 games with Derrick Henry, 8 games without. The rushing stats and like all of the rushing stats are damn near the exact same.
Mm-hmm. And they've had they've had 88 players on the roster this season or something like that because they've been dealing with COVID.
And it could like Derrick Henry being on the field, I'm sure affects the pass game, but you can't really look at those stats and make that comparison right now either because they were without AJ Brown, they were without Julio. But it just goes to show like what good coaching and stuff can do even without some of your star players. Yeah, I would have to agree. I think that Mike Vrabel is definitely a guy. And I want to vouch for Sean Payton because we have the potential to make the playoffs, but I just can't take it from Vrabel.
I honestly, like, this year is one of those few years where like I was saying with the receivers in the draft, like there are like 7 guys where if you gave it to them, people could not argue. Like Bill Belichick could honestly, like,
true.
I know Bill Belichick can win it every year, like, but the Patriots were 1-4. They came back and now they're competing with the Bills for number 1 seed in the AFC East,
despite the Cardinals sliding. Kingsbury.
Exactly. Cliff Kingsbury is another one that you like. Nobody saw this coming. Brandon Staley honestly has done a great job with the Chargers. Arthur Smith in Atlanta. Nobody thought that. I was saying it earlier before we started recording. I didn't think that Atlanta could win a game this year. I didn't. So like there's so many guys that like you could look at and be like, damn, they could win coach of the year this year. I honestly think that I thought it was Mike Vrabel, and I still hold true that Mike Vrabel should win it. But I think Zach Taylor might win it. And listen, Zach Taylor, I understand if Zach Taylor wins it. Because again, it's the whole thing, like worst to first. Like everybody, like we did, everybody expected the Bengals be bottom of the barrel in the AFC North. And now they just locked up the division win. Like that's pretty damn impressive.
And
Zach's expectation.
Zach Taylor's job was on the line this year, in my opinion. Be there 3-4 years and not be able to do anything. But he salvaged his career. One coach who should be extended, Matt Nagy. Extend him forever, please. Please, Chicago. Get him there. Lock him in. 10-year contract. 10-year, $100 million. Like we gave John Gruden.
I actually agree with that because that just ensures that Russell Wilson will not go to the Bears. So that's great. That's one less team that he won't force a trade out.
We need that.
Exactly.
All right. And moving on from that, we have one more segment for you guys for this episode, and we are just going to give you our best and our worst take from 2021 regarding just sports as a whole. So I left this to you guys. I didn't bring up any of your takes. I'm going to let you completely put yourselves out there here. Jake, if you would like to go first, whichever take you want to give first, the rest of us will follow suit.
I even need to say my worst take? I think the entire internet knows what my worst take was.
I think, just throw it back out there. Yeah.
All right. I'll start with the worst one because the best one is going to make me look good. Okay. During a hot take segment, I want to emphasize the context there. During a segment where we were supposed to give hot takes, I said that Sam Darnold will be the MVP of the NFL this year. Okay. Perfect. Now, regardless of the fact that it was a hot take segment, it looks pretty damn bad. Okay. That was obviously the worst take of the year. I will fully listen. I have no problem looking like a clown. Completely own up to that. You can drop as many clown emojis in the comments as you want. Completely understood. Bad take. All right. Understood. Now let's get past that. I owned up to that 100%. Best take of the year. This was posted on September 10th. So I obviously said it before that, but, thank you, Sped, for putting this on Instagram because I had forgotten a lot of my good takes this year because you tend to focus mainly on the bad ones. So this was season 1, episode 14. I said, if you had to make a list of Hall of Fame potential in this draft class, Micah Parsons would be on that list.
Hey,
I think that's panned out pretty damn well up to this point. Yeah. Like honestly, this man is in defensive player of the year discussions. So he is on the road. I'm not saying he is a first ballot Hall of Famer. He is on the road to being a first ballot Hall of Famer. So I think that I knew my Penn State guy. I just needed everybody to understand how good this guy was. And I think and Micah, thank you for backing that statement up. He's been phenomenal.
Damn. Okay. That's pretty bullseye right there. I will say, I know TJ Watt just had 4 sacks and he's most likely going to break the sack record probably next week. If he needs
how many does he have now?
21 and a half, right?
Oh,
so he needs 1 to tie.
He needs 1 to tie, 1.5 to break it.
I wouldn't count it. 16 games. It's different.
But he technically only played 15 games.
Oh, okay. Then I would count it. All right. So yeah, that's impressive. All right, good for TJ. But that's the same thing with Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp missed a game. So like people are gonna be like, but he beat it with the 17th game. It's like, no, he only played 16. So technically it would be a fair beat, but that's neither here nor there.
Okay. I will go with my worst take of the year. And it's not that it was terrible. I was just kind of putting myself out there. My worst take of the year was that I thought Dak Prescott was going to break the yardage record this year. That did not come to fruition. Dak Prescott, I will admit, he's been in a slump the past month and a half or so. And it's crazy because he started the year on fire. He was in the MVP conversation. The Cowboys had one of the best records in the NFL. And he looked like he could have very well looked like he could have. I don't know what happened in between there. But something just completely flipped with Dak Prescott, and he's causing the Cowboys realistically to lose games. I think the Cowboys are what? No, I think he's like 0-8 the past couple of years. If without a 100-yard rushing running back, like I don't know what's going on with that. It looks like Tom Brady could come close. He's probably going to pass 5,000 yards. He's probably going to need what is the record? It's 5,400, 5,500 or something around
55, there. I think it's 55.
By Peyton. Yeah. So Brady's going to need a wild game to try and break that record. And I think he's going to try and go for it too. Just cause that's what he wants. That's what he's about. But yeah, Dak came nowhere close. Let me just look up how many passing yards Dak has right now as I'm ranting.
I remember debunking that take.
Yeah, you did. You absolutely did. Dak Prescott he has 4,100 right now. 4,100. It's not crazy, but he's going to come up
having like an atrocious season. He's just not having a record-breaking season.
Yeah. And I thought with the 17th game added on, CeeDee Lamb was going to go off, and Amari Cooper and Michael Gallup, everything. And the fact that he was on pace last year to do it before getting hurt.
In your defense, I mean, you weren't the only one saying that. I mean, I saw other people saying the same thing, and I think that it helped with the comeback player of the year narrative being pushed. You wanted to put all that in there with it. You wanted it to be an all around, just fantastic season for Dak. And like I said, it hasn't been bad. It just hasn't been that.
Yeah. I mean,
Why does Luke get a sugar coating? Why don't I get a sugar coating for my worst take? Like Luke, you're like Gage, you're over here being like, yeah, but you shouldn't feel that bad about it.
You gave your own sugar coating by letting everyone know that it was in a hot take segment. It just happened to be too hot.
Yeah. And like, I don't know if that doesn't qualify as like your like worst take. I feel like that qualifies as like one of the worst takes of anybody of the year. So
the Dak Prescott thing, and the Dak Prescott thing, like I said, I saw other people saying the same thing, and it was like I can kind of understand the school of thought there.
Yeah,
the Sam Darnold MVP thing. It's like I don't know where the hell that came from.
So all I'm trying to say is I didn't have many bad takes this year. I'll pat myself on the back. My best take of the year. I have two that I'll highlight both of them quickly. Sorry.
I think I have two also. So
okay. The first one was that the Chicago Bulls were going to be a top 3 seed in the NBA in the East this year. DeMar DeRozan looks like the MVP right now. I mean, Steph Curry and KD and, Giannis are there, but DeMar DeRozan over the past month has played probably the best basketball of his career. He's looking like prime, Eastern All-Star starter, like 2016 DeMar DeRozan, the guy that made me fall in love with basketball, fall in love with the Toronto Raptors. They call me Luke DeRosenthal, by the way. He's one of my.
That? Do people call you that? Who calls you that? We don't call you that.
People call him this. He told me that he would beat Steph Curry in a 3-point contest.
I heard that. I heard that actually.
Yeah,
the cameras weren't.
No, it wasn't a 3-point contest. He said that he would beat his record all time for 3. Anyway, just continue.
Yeah, it's like when Joe Judge says that his old players are calling him and wishing that they were back on the Giants.
Yeah,
it's like
absolutely.
that. I think the Bulls are gonna finish as a top 3 seed. I believe they're the number 1 seed in the East right now. I think they currently are. Yeah, they currently are. They're looking great. The big one. All right, let me put my glasses back on for this one because Sped, you and I got to have a talk, buddy. Week 1, when the Packers lost to the Saints, I was clowned on the Totally Unqualified TikTok for saying I thought the Packers were going to be the best team in the NFL this year. Crown me. Best take of the year. Are you kidding me? Come on. I can't believe I got clowned for that. After week 1, that was crazy. The Packers 13-3 record. They have a chance to win their 14th game. We'll have a league best record. They look like the Super Bowl favorites right now. And I made a video earlier as to why I think the Packers are going to make the Super Bowl this year. It's because every year since 2014, the team that has beat them in the playoffs pretty much blew them out earlier in the regular season. Please, for the love of God, don't let the Saints into the playoffs because that will be terrible. That'll be terrible for my sanity. We cannot have that happen. But yeah, that was my best take of the year. And it was for my favorite team. So it's fitting.
All right.
Fair take. That's a good take. Good take.
I have a couple for each one here because for the worst, we already talked about it a little bit earlier. I said that the Giants would win the NFC East. I said that Joe Judge would be the reason for that. OG called me out in that episode in a variety of ways about that take. And you know what? OG, shout out because
you gotta get OG back.
You were absolutely 100% correct. That was awful. I don't know how or why I talked myself into that.
You were on that Sam Darnold for MVP shit when you said that. That was like you were on that same thing.
OG
that I was
did say that wasn't as bad though.
No, shout out OG too for calling us out for not believing in the Eagles.
For not just
an outside source to kind of be like, what the fuck is going on there? Because this ain't sane, bro. Like this is not okay.
and then for as good as a lot of my Colts takes have been this year, I did have a bad one, and I don't think I advertised this one a ton, but it was on the Instagram. I said that Paris Campbell was going to take over as the wide receiver 1 for the Indianapolis Colts this season.
Rough.
Granted, he did get injured and has been injured, but Michael Pittman has stepped up in a big way and has absolutely been the wide receiver 1 for those guys and has been killing it for the games that he's played. He's been fantastic. So I was dead wrong on that. Now, on the flip side of that, I've had a lot of really good Colts takes this year. The first of which being that Jonathan Taylor would have a better season than Derrick Henry. Before anybody wants to kill me, I also said that because I felt that Derrick Henry may get injured due to his workload. We can say that it has nothing to do with the workload and it's just an off chance thing, but we'll never know. So I saw a big season for Jonathan Taylor. I thought that he could blow up based on the way that he ended last season. He's absolutely done that, and I'm going to take full credit for that. My other take is in
Take full
regards.
credit for him being that good.
Yeah,
it's just Gage.
I coached
Just tweet
him.
at Jonathan
I
Taylor.
actually raised him. I am his father. My other
Watch Derrick Henry come back in the playoffs, have
Oh my
like
God,
four
just destroy
200-yard
everything.
games and just win Super Bowl MVP and win the Super Bowl just to completely annihilate that take for Gage.
Just
So he has
make
to
me
come
look
on here.
stupid. That would be
Yeah.
my luck, honestly. But my other take that I am fairly proud of, obviously we all picked the Bengals to like be dead last in the division just a couple weeks into the season. And I will preface it by saying it was an overreaction segment. I said that the Bengals would be a playoff team. They have obviously clinched the division. And at first I said that Jamar Chase would have 1,000-yard season. And you guys were like, well, that's not like that hot or that much of an overreaction. And I upped it to 1,500 yards. He needs 71 yards in the last game to hit 1,500.
Okay.
He's gonna get it. He's gonna.
He'll get it. He'll get it.
So
Watch him have a
definitely think
70-yard
he could.
game again.
It's not a dead on take yet, but it definitely could be. So
Yeah.
we'll see how it pans out.
Absolutely.
That's great.
Yeah. By the way, fun fact about Paris Campbell, since we were just talking about him. He actually went to the same high school as LeBron James, St. Vincent, St. Mary. So just
Really?
just a fun fact there. Yeah,
If
I don't
you're
know.
wondering.
I know. If you're wondering, that I just thought that was pretty cool because I watched the More Than a Game documentary on LeBron recently. It was about like his high school. I didn't realize how dominant of a team his high school team was.
Yeah.
Like like I didn't realize like the reason they were nationally televised was like not just because of LeBron. It was like that team as a whole was just wildly good.
Yeah.
Great documentary, by the way. It's free on YouTube. Go watch it if you want to. And yeah, I looked up St. Vincent St. Mary and Paris Campbell is one of the notable alumni. So just fun fact there.
I will say, I do think that he's still going to be a good receiver for them.
No,
He just
absolutely.
needs to stay healthy, and I think that he could definitely be a flyer for them.
Yeah,
I wouldn't disagree, but I think there's a small, I want to say, timeline for that to happen.
Yeah.
Like he's already been with the team for a few years, and yes, injuries have played, a big part of why he hasn't had such big production. But he's an absolute flyer. He could take the top off of a defense, and we've seen him do that before. So I wouldn't doubt it.
They definitely still need another guy, though. I think a receiver is definitely a position that they should focus on.
Got to get a slot guy. I mean, T.Y. Hilton can only produce for so long,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
One last thing, and I thought about this earlier. I forgot to say it. We talked about Wes Welker earlier. You just mentioned a slot guy. Shout out Hunter Renfrow. Hunter Renfrow
Big
has
shout
been a
out.
dog this season.
Big shout out.
He has been.
We talked about Derek Carr, but Hunter Renfrow has been a big part of that as well. He's the reason that they beat the Colts this past week. So, but anyway, that is going to be it for us for this episode, guys. We hope that you enjoyed listening. We know that it was a little bit longer, but we just wanted to do a little flashback, a little trip down memory lane and talk about some of the things that we talked about in the past, saw how things aged. As you can see, we are, in fact, totally unqualified, but we get a few right here and there. Do you guys have anything that you want to cap it off with? Luke, you want to start?
Yeah, just make sure to follow us on all of our socials. I am Football Fan Zone, Gage is Extra Points, and Jake is Jake Maltese 3, as well as all of our Totally Unqualified accounts. We have Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, you name it, we got it. And I just can't wait. I'm looking forward to the rest of this year. I can't wait to see what's to come for Totally Unqualified and the TU crew in 2022. It's going to be a fun year, fellas, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know why I have to keep saying this. If you don't have the overtime app at this point, what the hell are you doing? They're giving away shit for free.
Yep.
For you to just pick some players and play some fantasy football. It's stupid if you don't have it. At that point, you're just fucking lazy. Just go do it. It's so simple. Download it on the App Store. Use our links in our bio. I mean, Luke is showing you
all my merch that I have.
all the drip. Yeah, but honestly, a phenomenal app. Just phenomenal people over there at Overtime. We'd had the opportunity to work with them, and they're awesome. Yeah. So just go download it. It's awesome. And we have a bunch of fun playing it. And other than that, we just want to thank you guys for an absolutely awesome 2021. And here's to even better things in 2022.
110%. Couldn't agree more. I'm super excited for this year. And I just want to say, if you stuck around for the Marvel offense, we will be doing a defense later this week. Keep an eye out. But we'll see you guys in that episode. Make sure to stick around for that. Thank you for listening. Peace out.